If you weren't a fan of battle rap and I were to ask you what you knew about it, chances are you'd either think of this.
2.5 Men. I watched that.
Or this.
Don't try to judge me, dude. You don't know what the fuck I've been through. But I know something about you. You went to Cranbrook. That's a private school.
And you're not entirely wrong to think those things, but it's way more than that. Let me explain. So if you're watching this and you're already a fan of battle rap, you know the first place I have to start is Smack DVD. We'll get into Smack later as a person, but Smack DVD was one of the greatest things to ever happen to hip-hop, not just battle rap. As a matter of fact, if you were to go to YouTube right now and just type in Smack DVD, most of the footage that you're gonna find isn't even battles.
It's small, man. It's small. They know when I come to my hood, they know it's love. They know I come from. They know I'm out there representing them.
I 4-4, fist something. It's nothing for a nigga to leave here. Beware.
Get high, I'm cool with locked up. I'm cool with my life. But then I ain't no big fucking artist like that, man. I'm trying to get paid. I'm trying to monopolize off of what I do. Feel me?
I'll be completely honest and say that I was not there for the Smack DVD era, unfortunately, because it started in the year 2000 and that would have made me 7. But I will honestly tell you that even without that experience from me, you can just take it from me. Smack DVD was that shit. And if you didn't know about Smack DVD, you wasn't shit. So then, of course, the next thing, if you're a fan of battle rap and you've come to this video and you see somebody saying that they don't know or they weren't around for Smack DVD, how did you get into battle rap? Well, the first battle I ever watched was on Fight Club. And I'm not talking about the Brad Pitt movie. I'm talking about MTV's Fight Club. A few battles that stick out in my mind are Serius Jones vs. Jen and Remy Ma vs. Lady Luck. I've also seen Hollow the Don vs. Arsenal, but that was on YouTube sometime after the show itself had ended. For a bit of context, I don't watch sports, so battle rap is legit the only one I watch. What mainly drew me to it was the fact that I rap myself, and coming up as a teenager, the rap scene in my hometown of Wichita, Kansas didn't seem to be as prosperous as others, so this was pretty much the only form of unfiltered hip-hop I could see on television. With your daily music countdown shows such as 106 & Park and MTV's TRL, which I loved, by the way, you pretty much only heard what the labels wanted you to. And that's fine for the casual listener, but I really ain't listening to that shit. Most that time in my life, I was discovering Jay Dilla and Doom. I needed that uncut shit, and I found it in battle rap. Today, battle rap is flourishing. A multi-million-dollar business and one of hip-hop's pride and joys. Your favorite rapper, whether he be Jadakiss or NLE Choppa, follows and enjoys battle rap. If that's news to you, this is a series I suggest you follow, A Beginner's Guide to Battle Rap. Why A Beginner's Guide to Battle Rap was the question I asked myself when I caught this idea, and the answer was pretty simple. There isn't one. Getting into battle rap, at least from my experience, is a thing you kind of just fall into. You want proof? Send your friend that doesn't regularly watch battles a link to one right now. That nigga will either check it out for a quick second and walk away or never even see it. And it's probably not even because they're not interested. It's just a hard thing to get into. I call battle rap hip-hop soap opera. There's so much internal mess that a lot of the time it bleeds into the material when these people battle. If you're not up on the shenanigans surrounding the battle, you're probably gonna be lost, and that can make you feel excluded. It's literally just the same as trying to get someone into any other sport they've never seen before. You ever explain a field goal to a nigga who's never even seen a second of football? Exactly. I'm not an analyst. I'll actually link you to some at the end of this video, but I am a lyricist and I really know rap on a high level. Since being a lyricist means never not being a student of the game, I'm still learning, and I hope to create a community of folks who want to learn with me. In order to learn though, you gotta start with the basics. So let's do that.
MC Busy B. Shaq Crew? Shaq Crew. Hey y'all, you see what they did to me? It was 2 of these motherfuckers up here.
Hey, I kick a little something for the G's. And man, may I kick a little something for the G's. And
the first recorded rap battle in history is Kool Moe Dee vs. Busy B Starski at the Harlem World Club in 1981. Busy B was known as the party MC, mainly capturing the crowd with his jovial showmanship and hooky catchphrases that people could sing along to. Kool Moe D, however, prioritized lyrics over groove, or as Lupe Fiasco recently put it, substance over style. And after a heckler provoked a challenge between the two, followed by a very public brush off in response, he got on right after Busy B and honestly fucking smoked him. It wasn't even close.
Manhattan, Boogie Down Bronx, I need everybody cooperation right about this time. Come on, give me a soul clap. Clap hands. Come on. Everybody, come on, clap hands. I want to ask you a question. I want to know, is Manhattan in the house? Is the Bronx in the house?
Listening back to the audio, it's quite the difference in intention behind these two rappers' performance, and you could actually use it as a conversation piece for how rap is consumed even today. Busy B Starski in this recording is essentially saying, and I do mean this with as much respect as the statement could possibly have, a bunch of bullshit. Random chants like, what's your favorite restaurant?
Is it Burger King? What about White Castle? What about Blimpies? Speaking on Wendy's.
Are pretty much the length of his 7-minute set. Remember, this is back when DJs would loop their favorite drum loop on a record over and over again to make an impromptu beat on the spot. So all of this random shit is just freestyle. The objective of the MC back then was to move the crowd and keep the party going, and was pretty much seen as a novelty rather than a legitimate craft that could carry a message. Sound familiar?
I'm about dollars. Who the fuck is 50 Cent?
For years to come, rappers would continue to diss each other on beats. I'm sure if you're as old as I am or older, you know about The Bridge Is Over, No Vaseline, and the Roxanne Shante Chronicles, amongst others. But eventually grew a subsector of that where niggas would just rap to each other a cappella, and eventually as technology advanced, these battles would be filmed. I just like to insert here that in my brain it makes more sense that battling a cappella would come first, considering not everyone would have the resources to even have beat battles, especially depending on where they occurred, but my research suggests otherwise, so hopefully I'm not wrong about that. Please check me in the comments. Y'all remember this?
Listen, I ain't got to really show you I'm hard. It speaks for itself. And I'm a boss. You got to speak to somebody just to speak to me. Listen, dog, you can't eat with me. And listen, I advise you don't really want to beef with me. Please. Oh, you mad because I'm styling on you. You can have better gear and couldn't styling on me. Listen, plus the cowl is on me. To act up and you'll fucking have to lay down.
Ever since Nigga Don got sucker punched by E&J during what will become known as the "Oh You Mad Cause I'm Styling on You" video, battle rap has been somewhat of a flourishing niche on YouTube. At that time, you'd also have minor television looks for the genre like Freestyle Fridays on 106 in Park, where each MC would have 2 30-second rounds on beat, and the winner was often determined by 3 celebrity judges, as well as MTV's Fight Club, where the 60-second acapella rounds were spit across the famous pool table that would separate the rappers. However, internet virality was starting its takeover by this point, and the Styling on You video shone a different light on battle rap, albeit it being essentially a snuff film. That would eventually lead into the vehicle that would be most people's official intro into battle rap, Smack DVD era. SMAC, an almost forgotten acronym for Streets, Music, Arts, Culture, and Knowledge, also makes a direct reference to Smack White, the known godfather of battle rap in a lot of respects. I kept the background checks to a minimum for this script, so at the time of writing this, I do not know if Smack ever rapped or did music prior to battle rap, but what I do know is his name in the genre is world renowned. There was a point in time where you were looked down upon if you didn't have his cosign, and even today his presence in the crowd means wonders for your career. Once Smack White is standing in between you and your opponent to flip the coin, you've made it. By a certain point, Smack had gone digital via YouTube, and I remember coming across the channel around when I was 14 or 15. I can't really remember in which order I saw them, but the first 2 I remember seeing were Murda Mook vs. Serius Jones and Math Hoffa vs. Iron Solomon. If you were there, you know this was back when YouTube had limitations on how long your uploads could be, so Smack uploaded the battles round by round. Essentially, it was like you'd see round 1, and you have to wait a week or so before you can see the next one, whereas nowadays battles are anywhere from 18 minutes to an hour plus on a YouTube upload, and sometimes even shorter than that, to be honest with you. Not only have the uploads gotten longer, but the leagues, as they're called, appeared aplenty, which ultimately helped grow the scene. King of the Dot based in Toronto, Don't Flop and Smack, now called URL or the Ultimate Rap League in New York, Black Ice Cartel holding it down for the Midwest, Grind Time on the West Coast, naming a very small few, by the way. I'm not at liberty to say who existed before who, although I do believe Grind Time is the first in the event you don't consider Smack DVD to be a proper league, but regardless, these platforms ushered in not only a more modern, pre-written format. Yeah, I don't know if you're surprised by that, but these niggas are given weeks, sometimes months to write their rounds, as opposed to being expected to freestyle on the spot, but also a megaphone for an audience interested in the raw and unfiltered nature of the sport, which is how we end up where we are today in 2026. If you just go to YouTube and hit the search bar and type in battle rap and just scroll, the results are overwhelming. Where do you start? Who do you root for? How do you determine who won? Kind of complicated overall, so I'll first explain how the culture does it, and then I'll say how I determine winners and losers. The culture, which is pretty much the nickname for everyone and everything specifically associated with battle rap, has a sort of hive mind when it comes to picking a winner of a battle. So to put it plain, if the majority says you lost, you lost. It's just like that. Most battles are not judged today, and when they're suggested, most battlers will actually retreat from negotiations because in today's world, everyone gets paid. There are situations where one lesser-known MC will have to pay their dues by literally paying their opponent for a chance to battle them, but in most cases, both artists are paid a fee, half of which is given to lock in the match and the other half to be received upon its completion. You'll see that a common tactic battlers use is to straight up lie about their purse, but the largest recorded payment one MC has received is Hitman Holla having allegedly been paid $400,000 to battle on RBE, according to a screenshot he dropped on Twitter back in 2024. Niggas ain't really trying to do shit for free, and no one likes to lose, so the only time you'll hear someone straight up admit defeat is when it's undeniable, and even then probably not. So it's really up to you. I've seen all kinds of silly reasons for why a person gave someone a battle.
I honestly think that he makes a lot of sense because the movie is called Bambi, where in the movie a deer dies. And when he, and like I said, it's so, you know, I explained this on Facebook the other day. The line is so deep that when he says, I dare, you know, dare as in the animal deer, you, the mother died in the shape of a U.
But I prefer to have a clear-cut winner. So this is my scorecard. So I want to preface this by saying that this scorecard does not exist. I made it up, and up until the writing of this video, I never intended to share it with anyone, so please always remember that this is strictly an opinionated sport, and my views may differ from your own. I'm just letting y'all know what I think, but it is not law, and I'm always up for a healthy debate. So the way I choose to judge battles is with tallies, you know, old school. When I first started developing this method, I'd have all these silly rules like a haymaker will be 2 points or whatever, but eventually I simplified it for the sake of A, remembering it for later, and B, keeping everything fair. So to keep it simple, if I like it, it gets a tally. Obviously, this means a punchline, but it mainly has to do with anything vocal that I feel like pushes along your round. Sometimes it's a bar, but sometimes it's an ad-lib after the bar lands. Could be a joke. If you said it during your round and I like it, it gets you a point.
Hey, yo! Get loud, run it back. Bill Collector versus Tay-Rock. I guess it's time to talk. Boy, they said you was eating coney dogs out Palmer Park. You think you the shit, bitch? And I'm some kind of fart?
Similarly, if I don't like it, you don't get a tally. There's no subtracting points. You do, however, forfeit your round by choking. Choking is a term used to describe when either MC stops rapping during their round for any other reason than maybe attempting to settle the crowd for the sake of footage, or say they gotta take a sip of water or some shit. That's not what I'm talking about. There's different measurements for what a choke is today depending on who you ask, but I count it as when an MC completely stops rapping for 5 seconds or longer for the sake of trying to remember their round, which is very important. If that sounds harsh to you, keep in mind that that is a very new school take on the quote no choking rule. Back in the day, if you stopped at all, your round was over. No debating. Here's Midwest Miles choking against Loaded Lux.
Listen, I ain't with the back and forth and slick shit. I get on some quick shit and pop him in his head like, bitch, come on, come up out of that bread. Look. It's over. Okay, I let him get you after this. It's over.
You them niggas in the back saying it's over? First time I saw this clip, my heart sunk. I was like 15. I legit thought, oh my God, this nigga's finna die. Nowadays, you can choke a niggas will let you pace around the ring for a minute plus in an attempt to get it back for the sake of footage. Respectfully, nah. Over here, if you choke, you lose the round. You come back and have bar the battle. I don't care. Should have remembered your shit. As much as I like to add all types of silly caveats, I truly feel like this simple formula would allow everyone to come to somewhat the same conclusion when judging a battle. Granted, our likes and dislikes are different, but the end result will typically have one MC as the winner 9 times out of 10. I've checked multiple outcomes up against the culture and they consistently match up, so use it if you want, or if you have your own method, you can do that too. There's literally no wrong answer. There are people who have Calicoe beating Lux 3-0, and I'm not joking. For those of you who are new, you'll get that joke later. Gotta follow me. 0 out of 10 tallies makes you around mid to me. 11 to 20 counts it as decent, and 21 and beyond is great, with 30 points counting as a perfect round. For transparency, that concept comes from the URL app, where it doesn't allow you to give either opponent more than 30 points. Obviously, the best 2 rounds out of a typically 3-round battle will give a battler the win. There are 1-round battles, but keep in mind the culture doesn't really like those. A cardinal rule for a tie, and when I say that in this context, I mean getting the same amount of points per round for each opponent, is I have to watch the entire round over to see if I can catch anything else from the round to give one of them the upper edge. There are no ties in battle rap. Now that we've covered my personal guide to judging battles, I want to go over a few battle rap terms to help you follow along, because you'll hear them a lot. Oftentimes, when someone wins a battle 3-0, they'll just shorten it to say 30. This isn't really like a major piece of terminology you need to know, but you'll hear that a lot, so I just wanted to start with that. A gentleman's 30 is when the battle is so close that one MC's win was by an edge or otherwise not entirely clear. This is also a form of battle that's known as a debatable. Sometimes it's not clear who wins, and there can be an argument to who got who. A debatable is different from a gentleman's 30 in the sense that the latter is clear, yet unfortunate, while the former is genuinely up for debate, hence the term. Pro tip: a lot of niggas will say something is debatable when it's not. Don't listen to niggas. They always cap for their favorites. An angle is what's known as material catered to personally attack an opponent based off known information to the crowd. This can either be introduced during the battle, a different battle, or outside of battle rap entirely. Typically what will happen is once a battle is locked in, folks from either side will start to contact the other battler's opponent to feed them dirt for the battle. Sometimes these are what's known as fake angles, aka shit that niggas just make up. But either way, it's a way for the MCs to attack each other with more than just random punchlines. Angles are actually why I consider battle rap to be a soap opera of sorts, because if you don't have that context, it could leave you completely lost while watching a battle. If you haven't seen Arsenal vs. Conceited, you won't understand why everyone who battles Arsenal has punchlines about him being a bus driver.
Fire, and then put the cans to your 6-pack like Budweiser. It don't matter what step you on, I'm one higher. Cause I'll be damned if I lose to an elementary school bus driver. That's not a punchline. That's real fact. I don't know why he's bragging. You wake up 5 a.m. to hop on that cheese wagon.
As I mentioned before, choking is when an MC stops his round. I count it as it being 5 seconds or more, specifically for the sake of remembering material. I have that as a catalyst because things happen. I'm not gonna judge a nigga for not rapping because the crowd won't be quiet, or if he's experiencing mic issues or whatever. Only when you stop due to forgetting your material and it lasts that 5 seconds do I count it as a choke. And the 5-second rule is very specific for this reason. I want you to count 5 seconds right now. Now imagine 5 seconds in the middle of a silent, crowded room filled with people waiting for you to rap. You see what I mean? At that point, it's undeniable, and I'm gonna call it a choke. The overall point of a statement is a punchline, and that's no different in battle rap. Punches mainly come at the end of a rap line, but a good writer will place them at other points to help beef up their round. You'll often hear some guys say things like, I punch on my way to the punch, basically meaning they double or triple up their usage of punchlines per bar. As a sidebar, if you don't know the art of 16 bars, this sport is way too advanced for you. Go do some research and then come back. I'm not slowing down the class for you niggas. A haymaker is a punchline delivered by a battler that has a stronger impact on their opponent than 80% of their own round. So to say it simpler, there are lines that stand out more than others simply due to their nature. Maybe it's a really personal scathing line, or maybe it lands harder due to the cleverness of the bar. The haymakers are usually the bars that fans walk away from the battle reciting to their friends.
Nigga, grow up. Y'all went from talking toys to a fallout like Andy's coming. So that's geechi, DNA, robbed up. You did all them dirty? Hold on, nigga. There's Sean, Smack, Mike Zombie, Drake, Lennox Lewis. The list goes on, nigga. You done stole from, betrayed, and you done told on niggas. Of course you named your son Lennon. All you do is fold on niggas.
You'll notice that battlers tend to treat these like how industry rappers refer to hits on an album. Today's battles are scripted, as I mentioned earlier, and do not require MCs to know how to freestyle. However, you do have rappers who use that talent as a way to gain the upper hand during battles. Rappers like DNA, Charlie Clips, Hollow the Don, Disaster, Chef Trez, and A-Ward, just to name a few, have built their careers off their ability to rebuttal something their opponent said just moments ago in the previous round. DNA in particular has even done entire portions of his rounds where he'll go based off suggested words from the crowd.
Lost the clip. Oh damn, I think I almost fucked that up when he off the shit. I meant to say B Magic already lost the clips. KD, what's up? KD, what?
I didn't really know how I wanted to end this video. Battle rap is such an important thing to me that I never want to stop talking about it, but this video is already like 20 minutes long, and I know y'all got other shit y'all want to do. One of the major questions that you're probably asking now that I've given you all of the backstory and information that you need to begin is, where do you start? And so I have actually started on a campaign to watch one battle every day this entire year. There's a playlist on my YouTube channel called Battles 365. I encourage you to check it out and use either the scorecard that I gave you or one of your own, and get into this thing, because it's an important thing to hip-hop and we never want it to die out. I told you at the beginning of this video I wasn't an analyst, so I'm going to leave you with some analysts to go follow, because I'm not going to be sitting here breaking down bars every day, and there's much more to battle rap than what I just gave you. Thank you for tapping in. My name is Marius Anthony, but you can call me Reese.
Yo, what up, man? Chris, somebody checking in, man, back with the blog, man. Make sure that like button and subscribe button, Wayne. I appreciate all the support. Salute. You already know what it is, man. Salute to the subscribers, that notification gang, etc., etc. Don't let none of that get too far ahead of you. You know who I be. Follow me on IG, Vada_fly. Tell your mama I said hi. Shout out to my guy, Showtime SP, and everybody who watches this content, whether religiously or in passing.
What's going on, y'all? It's J Smo Reviews here, back at it again with another video, man.
What's good? Yeah, I see you out there talking, J Mills.
Yo, shout out to the whole Egg Fat movement. What up, man? Y'all good? Man, I'm good. I'm alive. I'm breathing.
Listen to me. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk to y'all real quick. Hold on for a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait. Shout out to everybody.
Astro Queen, like ABBA did a remix. All aboard the CSS. Mamma Mia, made it to the top of the top. The bottom feeders, praying for the rap. So rap is my Anita. Seeking in a capsule core, like Vegeta, but I'm King Cole. Staying cooler than a freezer. Maybe I will go Han. Skywalking till I'm next to the gods. The lights dancing. Bitch, I'm Francis. Get in the car, and my jewels shine bright like the death of a star.
If it didn't